Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. This week, for my tip, I want to talk about value. Okay. What makes something valuable? All right. Um, the easiest description of value is supply and demand. If there is a huge supply of something, the value is going to go down. If there isn't a huge supply and the demand goes up, well, the demand will also drive the price. If there is a huge supply and there is no demand, there's not going to be any value there. All right. Um, the reason I bring that up is with all the talk of fancy serial numbers, I think people should keep that in consideration, especially when they start spending large amounts of money. Now, what am I talking about? We will all agree that a solid, a note that has a serial number that just has one digit, 1111111, all the way across, we will all agree that that is a rare note. Okay? We will all agree that there is value in that note because it's rare. Upwards of 3 grand for that particular note. So if you choose to spend 3 grand on that note, what's the long term outcome on that? Do you expect that note to increase in value or stay the same? I mean, I'm sure you don't expect it to decrease in value. Now, I would think that a note like that doesn't have a whole lot of upward movement. Not that I don't think it isn't worth $3,000, but something tells me that 10 years, 20 years down the road, it's still going to be worth $3,000. Why do I say that? Well, that's because we'll use this note here as an example, just because, okay? This represents essentially 100 million notes, okay? You're going to have zeros, ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, sixes, sevens, and eights all available. Well, not the zeros, but ones through eights are going to be available as solids, which means for every 100 million, 8 of them will be a solid. But the thing is, when they printed this note in my hand, they printed those 8 notes along with the other 95 point whatever million. They printed those 8, and then they rolled this digit from A to B, and they printed all those again. And then from B to C, and they printed all those again. And from C to D, from D to E. That's just using this particular note and this particular series. Let's not forget that this one is from Dallas, number 11 of the 12 districts. So every series that comes out, they are printing more and more solids. I am not going to say that we're going to reach a point where everybody that wants a solid has a solid and there's not going to be any value. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that solids make up a very, 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 very small percentage of the market. But the thing is, in 20 years, that percentage will be the same because they continue to print money. So they continue to print that number of solids every single print run, which means there will be more solids in 20 years compared to how many there are now. Yes, it's rare. Yes, it's extremely hard to get. But because of that fact that they continue to print them, there are always more. When you compare that to notes that are out of print, there aren't more of those being made. There aren't enough of those keeping up with demand. And because of that, let's see, a $3,000 note, we could go with, we can go with the $10 legal tender poker chip from 1923. They aren't making any more of those. That note is currently worth $3,000 to $3,500, just like a solid is worth $3,000 to $3,500. Both have the same value, but 20 years from now, realistically, which one is going to be worth more money? I would assume that since they aren't printing any more poker chips, the poker chip would probably be worth more. I would assume that somebody has a poker chip in a collection that they didn't tell anybody about, and when they pass away, that note just gets destroyed, thrown away, and it's gone. Which means over the course of time, notes that are no longer produced have smaller and smaller availability. No supply, same demand. Whereas fancy serial numbers, albeit rare, the supply is constantly being renewed. So once again, I'm not saying there isn't value in fancy serial numbers, at least in the real fancy serial numbers, but I am saying that that supply doesn't seem to dwindle, which the only way that the price will go up then is if demand increases. So yeah, right now, paper money has seen a huge surge in popularity. That's driving demand. Well, that's why we're seeing prices go up with fancies. It's just an interesting thought process. Like I said, if you like collecting fancies, great, but just keep that in the back of your mind that the upward value seems to be a little limited. All right, let's get these out of the way and take a look at what I found this week. Starting off, found a Where's George? Where's George note, this particular one from 2009. I will log this as soon as I'm done. No, there's no additional value. Let's see, found some trinaries. Now, once again, I collect trinaries and quads because I'm trying to find pairs. To pair notes is a $1 in $96 million achievement. I've done it a couple times. I only save trinaries and quads because, well, I have to spend money at some point, so I have to choose exactly the stuff that I'm going to save, and that's why I choose to save trinaries and quads. So this one is a trinary, 3s, 6s, and 9s. It's funny because as I stare at this, I can see that one of these 9s is slightly higher than the other. No, that does not give it more value. Here's 0s, 8s, and 9s. This one's 2s, 3s, and 9s. Here's quads. Quad 4s, quad 6s, quad 6s again, quad 7s with a 5th, also a trinary, 5s, 7s, and 8s, quad 7s, and some stars. Always checking to see if your stars are filled. Remember, a filled star is because there was a problem with the actual plate. Okay, that center piece may have chipped out. Sometimes you will see an over inked star where it's almost full, and because it's almost full, that means it's almost worth money, but it's not full, so it's not worth money. Just remember that. When you see people saying, oh, it's almost full, yeah, well, I'm almost a millionaire. Anyway, 2017 star. I will be checking these to see if there's any rares. Let's see, another 2017 star here, 2013 star, another 2013, and with my older notes. No, this is not an older note. I finally found one. Series 2021, the Janet Yellen signed notes. Now, it is almost the end of July. These were released in January. I finally got one of these from my bank. So this particular video is also jumping ahead of a few other videos, but yes, this is when I found my first one, just when I got back from Vegas. By the way, all the Vegas stuff will be coming shortly. But anyway, yeah, I went to Vegas, and when I came back, the very first set of notes I searched had a 2021. All right, 2003A, another 2003A, 2003A, 2003, 2003, 2001, and let's see, we got 2001 on this one, another 2001. These are all pretty rough. So this one's all right for a 2001. I'll probably keep that one. 1999. 1999. Remember, for the most part, I'm showing you guys all this stuff just so you have an idea of what you are likely to find out of 1,000 notes. Another 99. Another 99. really rough shape here. 1995, no, that's not an error. Not a web note either. 88, 93, and 95, you're looking for web notes. They will only have a plate number here. 1995, pretty good shape. 1988, nice and crisp. That's a good note. 1988, another this one's 1985. And the oldest note I found, this one was 1981. Okay, so those were my finds this week. What did I choose to bring out? Well, some of you may know this, some of you may not. My birthday is this week. So I decided that I'm going to talk about birthday notes. And I've probably searched 300,000 notes, maybe more. Those are all my actual birthday notes, okay? These are actually in the proper order where you have month, day, year. And I say that as if that's the end-all, do-all for birthday notes. The thing is the entire world doesn't even agree with that. In the U.S., we put the month, the day, and the year. However, most places put the day, the month, and the year when they write it out. So, which are the true birthday notes? Either way, there aren't many. Now, I have found birthday notes that have things in the other direction. For instance, here would be the year, here would be the month, here would be the day. And then you've got year, day, month. Once again, are they the proper order? No. Officially, this would be how birthday notes are supposed to be. And I decided I'm just going to go through my birthday notes and show these while I talk about birthday notes. All right. Let's first of all understand how many there are. All right. There are 365 days in a year. So there's 365 potential notes. What about years? What if we were to go over the last 100 years? Well, that would be 365 times 100, or 36,500. There are 36,500 potential birthday notes out of every 96 million. Okay? 96 million, only 36,000. Not 36 million, 36,000 out of 90 million. So if you want to talk about an extremely small shot of finding a note, what would that be? If I move the decimal point, 100 million, one place would be 10 million, two places would be 1 million, three places would be 1 in 1,000, and that would put you at 100,000. So we're at 1 in 10,000, essentially, of finding a birthday note. So if I go through 10,000 notes, that's 10 weeks worth of searching, I might find a birthday note, okay? Once again, you're talking 36,500 different notes. Now, what if we include anniversary notes or notes with special meaning, like December 7th, 1941, or September 11th, 2001? You can probably come up with another 100 notes. 100 notes, 100 more dates. So that 36,500 becomes 36,600, okay? So we're talking about a finite number and a very difficult portion to find, okay? They just aren't out there that much. Someone challenged me to take my birthday notes and sell them to a dealer, and said that if a dealer wouldn't buy them, they must not be worth any money. Because often I say, take it to a dealer. If a dealer doesn't buy it, it's probably not worth anything. So they enjoy throwing my words in my face. So once again, let's pretend that a dealer was curious in buying my birthday notes. Well, that dealer, first and foremost, would need to have all 36,500 birthday notes in order to serve his public, okay? So let's just understand, first and foremost, that's the number of notes. Secondly, the odds of a person needing that particular note would be 1 in 36,500. Okay? One in 30. If he has every single birthday note, okay, um, he would have to have 36,500 of them to guarantee a sale. Otherwise, just to have one birthday note, the odds of pairing that one birthday note with the proper person is 1 in 36,500. Okay? So it is a very finite chance to match the right person to the right thing. Now, let's pretend that there is no additional value on a birthday note. Okay? That means that in order for this particular dealer to sell birthday notes to people, he would have to theoretically, over time, purchase 36,500 birthday notes. And that's only if he didn't want any duplicates. Okay? So now he has $36,500 tied up in birthday notes. However, birthday notes do surprisingly carry a little bit of a premium, because if you want to find your birthday note, it's in a pile of notes, 1 in 36,500, if that entire pile is birthday notes. Okay? So, if the value of a birthday note, I frequently say the value of a birthday note, I would pay $20 for my birthday. I say that all the time. If you've got my birthday, day, month, year in the right order, I would pay $20 for that note. So if I would pay $20 for that note, and I was a dealer, knowing that I can sell these for $20, what do I have to purchase them from the general public from? Well, you hear me all the time saying that if I think something is worth $20, I would certainly pay $10 for it. Okay, well, that's half price. Well, we're talking 36,500 notes. Times 10 is $365,000. Do you think that a local dealer is going to spend $365,000 to keep a stock of birthday notes on hand? Or do you think your local dealer could probably make better use of $365,000? Now, if he spends less than $365,000, now he would still have to sell half of those notes. And the thing is, when you look at the general population, maybe 1% are coin collectors. Of that 1% of people, maybe 25% of those collect currency. And how many of them are actually going to be looking for their particular birthday note? So, in other words, you have very, very little demand. You have a small supply and you have small demand. Therefore, in the grand scheme of things, at your local coin shop, it is not a high priority at all for the dealer to start stocking up on birthday notes. As an example, I've been flipping through these notes this entire video, and I still have a whole lot more to go. And I'm wondering, have you found your birthday in any of these? No. And you expect a dealer to pay $10 a piece for these, $5 a piece for these, and then just sit on them? And remember, this is 120 notes. I've probably got maybe 200 notes here. So at 200 notes at $10 a piece, you think a dealer is going to spend $2,000 when I'm talking to hundreds of people right now? And out of the hundreds of people I'm talking to, maybe one person, maybe two people are going to see something that's close to their birthday. No. So it makes all the sense in the world why a dealer would not purchase birthday notes from a random person, because it's literally just something that's going to sit on their shelf and has a 1 in 36,500 shot of ever actually finding the proper owner. That is why dealers are not going to purchase birthday notes. I think I made that pretty crystal clear there. I don't think there's any argument to be had as far as that particular sentiment goes. As you guys know, one person has been relentless in the comments, which is great because every comment attracts more views, which is exactly why I keep replying to it. Because, like I said, every comment, every interaction drives viewership, and I can't imagine how many more people are going to be driven because of his comments. And the other thing is that you guys also leave comments, and he's the only one on the other side of the coin, so you can ignore everything that I say. Um, it's him versus everybody else. So from that standpoint, I think we know who's right. Pretty sure we are. Anyway, that's what I've got for you guys this week. I know this is a longer video. I was hoping to actually get through all of these and show all of these birthday notes, or at least variations of birthday notes that I have. I would pay $20 for my stuff, for my birthday, in the exact order. I would pay $10 if it was close. That's me. Maybe you have a different price point for your stuff. But considering there are only 36,500 notes out of every 100 million that qualify as birthday notes, I'd call that rare. And since there's only one note, one exact way to put the numbers for your exact birthday, yeah, I would call that. I would call that rare. I would call that worth money. I always have. Anyway, guys, that's what I got for you this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.